Hi guys, my name is Jamie Walls-Taylor and welcome to Brief Histories. On this channel I make videos of fascinating people in history from all walks of life. Don't forget to leave a comment down below if you have anyone you'd like me to make a video on and I will get right on that. But today we're going to 1882 to meet an author widely considered one of the foremost modernists of the 20th century, a haunted woman whose written works are now considered well-loved classics, Virginia Woolf. Born Adelaide Virginia Stephan in 1882 to Leslie Stephan and Julia Prinstead Jackson, Virginia Woolf was born into a privileged English household in Hyde Park, London, England. Her father, Sir Leslie Stephan, was a historian and an author, as well as one of the most prominent figures in the golden age of mountaineering, and her mother was born in India and served as a model for several pre-Raphaelite painters. She was also a nurse and wrote a book on the profession. Both of her parents had been married and widowed before marrying each other. Virginia had 3 full siblings, Toby, Vanessa and Adrian, and 4 half-siblings, Laura Makepeace Stephan and George, Gerald and Stella Duckworth. Raised by free-thinking parents and homeschooled for most of her childhood, Virginia and her sisters were highly educated and benefited greatly from their 2 brothers' connections at Cambridge, where the boys were formally educated, much to the chagrin of Virginia, who considered it unfair girls were not allowed to go. According to her memoirs, her most vivid childhood memories were not of London, but of St Ives, Cornwall, where the family spent every summer until 1895. As a girl, Virginia was curious and playful, but early traumas darkened her childhood, including being sexually abused by her half-brothers, George and Gerald Duckworth, which she wrote about in her essays A Sketch of the Past and 22 Hyde Park Gate. At the age of 9, she started a family newspaper called the Hyde Park Gate News, which she used mostly to tease her siblings, but showed her passion for writing early on. She wrote funny anecdotes about the family happenings until the age of 13, at which point her mother died suddenly of fever. She suffered her first mental breakdown, and a year passed before she wrote again. Then 2 years later, at 15, she had to deal with the loss of her half-sister Stella, who had become the head of the household after the mother's death. While dealing with her personal issues, Woolf continued her studies and went to the Ladies' Department of King's College, London, studying German, Greek and Latin. Her 4 years of study at King's College, London, introduced her to a handful of radical feminists at the head of the educational reforms in England. She was inspired by these women, and it shows very strongly in Virginia's work. In 1904, Virginia's father died from stomach cancer, and Virginia's already fragile mind became unstable and led her to try to commit suicide by jumping out of a window, and she had to be institutionalized for a short period. Throughout her life, Woolf was plagued by periodic mood swings, and between 1910 and 1915, Virginia's mental health was fragile. She spent short periods in 1910, 12 and 13 at Burghley House, which was described as a private nursing home for women with a nervous disorder. In 1899, her older brother Toby entered Trinity College, and the siblings met many influential intellectuals who would join the family for lunches at their new residence, 46 Gordon Square, in the Bloomsbury district of London. The group was a mix of talented and well-known people who became famous in 1910 for a joke where the group dressed up as European royalty and successfully persuaded the English Royal Navy to give them a tour of a warship. The group, Lytton Strachey, Clive Bell, Rupert Brooke, Saxon Sidney Turner, Duncan Grant, Leonard Woolf, John Maynard Keynes, David Garnett, Roger Fry, and Virginia and her siblings became known famously as the Bloomsbury Group. Tragically, in 1906, after a family trip to Greece, her brother Toby died of typhoid fever. Suffering yet another death in her family was hard, and Virginia felt abandoned when her sister Vanessa married Clive Bell and left the family to live with him. Virginia and her younger brother Adrian then went to live in Fitzroy Square, where she began to work on her first novel. During this time, Virginia and another member of the Bloomsbury Group, Leonard Woolf, also became very close, and eventually married on August 10, 1912. The two shared a passionate love for one another for the rest of their lives. At the time that Virginia was experimenting with language and completing her first novel, She also experimented with ideas about gender and relationships between the sexes. Like many members of the Bloomsbury group, the Woolfs had an open marriage, in which they gave each other permission to pursue outside relationships. In 1922, Virginia met Vita Sackville West, a poet also in an open marriage. The two had a romantic relationship for several years, and even after the affair ended, they remained friends for the rest of the Woolf's life. The Bloomsbury group were supporters of gay rights, and many of them were openly gay, though the group had varied opinions on lesbianism. E.M. Forster, for instance, thought the act disgusting, as he thought it sickening, and disliked the idea that women should be independent of men. Others, like her sister, were just curious. Virginia often wrote of the talks. "But do you really like going to bed with women?" she said, taking her change. "And how do you do it?" Buying her pills to go abroad, talking as loud as a parrot. Throughout her career, Woolf spoke regularly at colleges and universities, penned dramatic letters, wrote moving essays, and self-published. With the printing company she and Leonard founded in 1917, the Hogarth Press, a long list of short stories as well as novels, Mrs. Dalloway, Orlando, The Lighthouse, and A Room of One's Own, plus 16 other works. By her mid-40s, she'd established herself as an intellectual, an innovative and influential writer, and a pioneering feminist. Despite this, however, she continued to regularly suffer from depression, and in 1940, after the Woolf's London home was destroyed during the Blitz, she began to feel her mind slipping away. She wrote a letter to her beloved Leonard saying that she could no longer cope. And on March 28, 1941, she filled her pockets with rocks and walked into a river. The authorities found her body 3 weeks later, and Leonard had her cremated and buried under a tree in their home, Monk House in Lewes, where he was laid to rest beside her upon his death in 1969. Virginia Woolf is now one of the most influential authors of the 21st century, and her works are read all over the world and have been translated into over 50 different languages. Discover more historical figures and follow Brief Histories on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. And find out more at www.briefhistories.co.uk. Check out more videos on this channel and see what you find. Hey there historians, thanks for watching. If you like that video, feel free to check out some of the others on this channel. Don't forget to head over to the website www.briefhistories.co.uk to check out all the timelines, family history and more. Thanks very much for watching this video guys, I hope you like it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time.